Bienvenidos a todos a Tiempo Fuera. Hoy estamos con un invitado especial, Trey Bonham. Well, first of all, Trey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about y'all?
We're doing great.
Fine, also.
Thanks for taking the time to be here.
And
And thanks for
yeah,
having me.
going on to the first question. This one is like going to the beginning of your career. We would like to ask you who or what introduced you to the world of basketball.
Yeah, so I used to my dad's in the military, so we moved to Japan, and that's when I joined my first basketball team, was in Japan. There they didn't have tackle football because that's what I played. So they only had flag football. So everybody there just kind of hooped because that was kind of really the only sport. So that's when I start like taking basketball serious. So I guess really my dad and my friends, because all my friends play basketball, so that's really who introduced me to it.
And at what age you start playing? Do you remember?
What you said?
At what age?
I was around 12,
Ah,
so
okay.
yeah.
Great. And well,
Nice.
obviously, last couple of years, you were playing with the Virginia military cadets. I don't know if I said that right, but and now you're with the Florida Gators this season. Is there a reason why you transferred?
Yeah, so one, my coach, he found a new job. So that was a big part of me entering the transfer portal. And the my old school was a military school, so I wasn't really looking that
Yeah,
wasn't fun going to doing the military stuff. So I was just kind of trying to get away from that.
great. And now with the Gators, what do you expect this season?
I think we're gonna be really good this year.
Mhm.
We have a lot of depth. I think that's gonna be one of our biggest strengths. New coach, love him. A lot of good pieces around us. So I think we're gonna be really good. Making a run in March Madness this year for sure.
Great.
Yeah, I follow most of the Florida-based the NCAA teams. I follow the FSU, the Gators, the University of Miami. Obviously, the Gators didn't make it last year to the tournament, but they obviously play in a pretty tough conference. The teams that they play with are mostly are Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. They're incredible teams. So it's really difficult to go through all of them. So how obviously connecting both things last year you averaged 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 1.3 steals. Uh, how do you think with so much more competitiveness, those numbers will adjust?
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how the numbers will adjust, but I think my game is definitely going to be able to show up on the same level or a different level now. Uh, I think it's at the end of the day, it's still basketball. I think the biggest difference between the conference I was in before is just athleticism. So I might have to change my game a little bit when it comes to just getting in the paint. Might have to do a little bit more floaters instead of finishing all the way at the rim. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm gonna be just fine. It's just figuring out them little things. That's gonna be the biggest difference for me.
Great. And also, we would like to know, like, how it is the experience of the NCAA. For us, it's like a dream, and how do you live with it?
Yeah, so it's been a big difference between where I was from at BMI and here. Uh, I didn't realize kind of the difference of D1. So
Yeah,
before, I mean, it's always like it was a dream of mine playing D1, getting to play big schools. We play like Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. But now coming here, it's like I'm part of one of them big schools, so
Yeah, yeah,
the atmosphere
for
is
sure.
totally different. Just like we had a scrimmage the other day, and I was talking to my teammates. I was like, like this is more people than I ever played in front of, and they was like, this is a scrimmage, like just wait for the first. So little stuff like that, it's like it's just a lot more attention on you here. Even how we eat, the people around us is so much more technology. People just about you. So yeah, it's a big difference, even in D1, but all of it's still a blessing.
Great.
Great. And also, you mentioned earlier that this year you're trying to focus on the little things, like, you said, try to do more floaters instead of finishing at the rim. But what is the one thing that you've been working on the most this off season?
Yeah, so the biggest things is one, finishing at the like floaters and stuff, just different. Because I was a big 2 feet finisher the
Yeah.
last 2 years, so I know coming off 1 foot might help me get my shot up faster in the paint. So that's one thing I've been working on, and just get my shot more consistent. Last year I kind of took a dip, and I hurt my wrist too, so that was just something I want to work on this year. Just get my shot back right, more consistent.
Great. And we also like to ask the players if there is a reason why they choose their number. In your case, number 2, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so like I told you earlier, I'm the third. So 3 was actually my favorite number like all my life. But I changed it because of Colin Sexton. He was my favorite player. He played at Alabama. I just liked his mindset. So I think my sophomore year of high school, I changed my number. I probably watched his highlights 1,000 times. So yeah, I've been number 2 ever since then.
Well, and two
Excellent.
things. Now you're going to play Alabama, like, and also, are the Jazz your favorite team at the moment?
What was the last question?
That is the Jazz your favorite team at the moment?
Um, who's my favorite team at the moment?
Yeah, because you mentioned Colin Sexton, so he plays for the Jazz right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Alabama was my favorite team, but now I'm a Florida Gator. So
No, but I
it's
was
Florida.
mentioning, I was talking about the Jazz, the Utah Jazz.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Utah, yeah, yeah. And I like Cleveland too because Donovan. I like Donovan Mitchell too. Uh, so yeah, I kind of like that trade. I feel like it's gonna work for both of them.
Yeah, and the Jazz now are
And
incredibly surprising.
yeah,
they're doing really good.
Yeah, Cleveland's doing really good too. So yeah,
and Trey, do you have any like pregame routines?
I really don't. Only I like to eat a green apple before every game, but other than that, I like to listen to Kodak Black too.
Great.
But yeah, it's my only pregame routine.
Well,
Excellent.
and other thing that we were wondering is, obviously you have your entire career to go, but is there one thing that when it finish everything, your career ends, you look back and you say, well, I made that thing, one thing that you wanted to accomplish?
Something that I've already accomplished in my career, I'd say just going D1, playing at the high major. No, out of high school, I would have never thought I would have made it this far. So that's one thing I think I'm gonna definitely look back on and just be like, wow, like I really did that. And then something I want to accomplish, I definitely want to play March Madness. If I can make a run, get deep in March, I think that's something I'll always look back on and just be amazed.
Sure.
Great. Trey, that's basically the section. Now we move to the second one. There are three, but the next two are much, much shorter. This one is one in which the previous player we interviewed, in this case, is Robert Jones, that plays at Iowa State. Left a question for you, and if you after can give us a question to keep it going, it will be amazing. So the question that Robert left for you is, what are you passionate about outside of basketball?
Dang, that's a good question. I've kind of been trying to figure this out lately because I feel like other than basketball, I just sleep and play video games. So I guess maybe video games. Um, that's my only answer right now. But yeah, I've actually been trying to like look for like a hobby or something to get into.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good question.
And do you have like a question you want to leave for our next guest? If you want, we can give you time.
Um, the hardest player you ever have to guard. I feel like
Okay,
I like to hear what other people have to say about that.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. You know,
Perfect.
kind of having like a Kobe story.
You said what?
Kind of like a Kobe story, like
Oh
like
yeah.
every player has like a Kobe story saying that, like Kobe, we were up 22 at our stadium, and Kobe said blah blah blah, and he scored 60 points.
Yeah.
Everyone has that kind of story.
Yeah.
Great. And Trey, this is our last section. This one is one of our personal favorite. It has nothing related to basketball, and it calls Flash Questions. And the faster you can answer, the better. So whenever you're ready, we go.
All right, let me lock in. All right.
We go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Favorite movie?
Shark Boy Lava Girl.
Favorite TV show?
Martin.
Not including basketball. What sport do you watch or play the most?
Football.
Teammate you spend the most time with?
Will Richard. Kyle Lofton.
Favorite food?
State.
Favorite video game?
God of War.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
One dream left to accomplish, not basketball related.
Having a family.
Favorite artist?
No cap.
And finally, favorite basketball shoes?
Kyrie's.
Excellent.
We usually were. Do you believe in this thing that basketball shoes are like made for a certain like a position? Like for example, Kyrie's are made up for point guards or guards. Zooms are forward, center.
I don't, but at the same time, I think it looks weird if, like me as a guard, if I'm wearing like Giannis shoes.
Perfect.
Well, and Kyrie right now is a bit controversial.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
they're not dropping his new shoes, so
yeah, and I think
that
Nike
sucks.
Nike suspended him like the partnership at the moment.
Yeah, they did. I hope it doesn't last, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, Trey, that's basically it. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be here, and we'll keep in touch to give you the status of the interview.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes. Much, Trey. Have a nice
All
season.
right. Y'all too. See you.